What's going on, Magoochins? This is your fearless leader, Toots Magoots. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 utility players for my Madden 95 recreation roster. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Alright, let's get it. Number 10 on our list is the legendary Steve Tasker of the Buffalo Bills. Steve Tasker is regarded as the greatest special teams player in NFL history, and there are many analysts, former players, and journalists that are imploring the NFL to include a special teams category in the Hall of Fame solely so Tasker can be inducted. Tasker was a 7-time Pro Bowler on special teams and was known for making legendary hits in the open field, and also for making game-changing plays with the ball in his hands. Due to his playmaking ability, the Bills would later put him in at wide receiver, and he shined, scoring 9 touchdowns in limited action. While Madden doesn't feature special teams players, Tasker deserves a spot on this list, and if you decide to try him out at safety, he just might surprise you. If you're facing Tasker, always be aware of where he is on the field, as one hit from Tasker could force a fumble and swing the momentum of the game. You can also plug him in at receiver, where he will make a nice option in the slot as a shifty, quick route runner with the ability to make defenders miss. Hopefully one day, Tasker will hear that famous knock on the door for Hall of Fame induction. But until then, enjoy using his skill sets in my 95 roster. Our number 9 spot goes to Troy Brown of the New England Patriots. Many remember Troy Brown for his clutch play at wide receiver, as Tom Brady's favorite target in his early years. But what many don't know is that Troy Brown also was used to play cornerback and as a kick and punt returner. When a reporter labeled him as a wide receiver, he famously responded with one of my favorite quotes by saying, "I'm not a wide receiver, I'm a football player." Brown proved that statement to be true by being utilized in many different ways. If you use the Patriots, Brown will be able to play both wide receiver and cornerback in the same game. I've created him at wide receiver and at cornerback, both with appropriate skill sets, so you will be able to use him on both sides of the ball. If you run a franchise league, when traded, you would just ask the user to send both player copies in the trade. Our number 8 spot goes to Desmond Howard of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who has arguably the most famous punt return in college history.
Averaging just under 38 on 44 kicks this year. Nice high kick, got a little wind under it. And they run Howard back up with his little foot. One man!
Howard's famous Heisman pose still runs on the college football highlight reels to this day. Howard also has one of the most famous kick returns in Super Bowl history when he lifted the Packers to victory over Bledsoe's Patriots in 1996, in what turned out to be the only kick return touchdown in his illustrious career. Howard was most dangerous as a punt returner, where he took 8 punt returns for touchdowns for his career, and Howard was also dangerous as a wide receiver running back combo specialist, where he amassed over 1,600 yards and 7 touchdowns in limited action. For those using Howard, he will be one of the most feared returners in the game. Number 7 on our list is Anthony Munoz, Hall of Fame left tackle of the Cincinnati Bengals. Munoz is widely known for being one of, if not the best, left tackles in NFL history. Munoz posted an incredible 11 straight Pro Bowls from 1981 to 1991 and amassed 9 All-Pro selections in that span. He also famously is known for his pinky finger that was dislocated and never set back in place. I haven't included an image of this due to its graphic nature, but if you want to see it, just look up Anthony Munoz's finger. Trust me, it's nasty. However, most don't know that he was very effective as a short yardage tight end. He caught 7 passes in his career, 4 of which were touchdowns, and 2 of those were game-winning touchdowns. Munoz will be an interesting option to place at tight end for his elite blocking skills and his ability to make short yardage catches. Look for him in the free agent pool to add to your team. At number 6 on our list, we have Jumbo Elliott of the New York Giants. Elliott was the starting left tackle for the Super Bowl winning Giants in 1990, where they narrowly defeated the Buffalo Bills. Elliott was a force at the tackle position, but was also so versatile he often was used at tight end as an extra elite blocker in short yardage situations. Elliott was quick and had decent hands, which allowed him to venture out onto some routes. His most notable catch was in 2000 when he was the left tackle for the New York Jets. The Jets were facing the Dolphins and they trailed 7-30 entering the fourth quarter. The Jets would score 30 points in the fourth quarter, capped off by Elliott's game-tying touchdown near the goal line. The Jets would kick a field goal in overtime for the win, and the game was henceforth known as the Monday Night Miracle. Number 5 on our list belongs to William the Fridge Perry, longtime defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears. Perry was an absolute wrecking ball on the defensive line at 6'2", 335 pounds, and was one of the most versatile linemen in league history. In high school, even at his size, he was among the fastest and most athletic players, able to run a 100-yard dash in 11 seconds. He had a 54-foot shot put throw, and he could perform 360 dunks on the basketball court. He attended Clemson University, where he was a national champion his freshman season and an All-American his junior season. His refrigerator nickname was earned when a college teammate tried getting into an elevator with Perry and told him he was as big as a refrigerator as they barely fit. When he won a Super Bowl with the infamous '85 Bears, he got his Super Bowl ring size in an incredible size 25, the biggest Super Bowl ring in NFL history. He was put in at fullback by Coach Ditka at first to be the lead blocker for Walter Payton, but eventually Ditka gave him goal line work as a ball carrier. His most famous carry was in the '85 Super Bowl, where he bulldozed his way for a touchdown. Perry will be a force at defensive tackle or at fullback, and you will have the option to use him on both sides of the ball in the same game. Look for Perry in the free agent pool to add to your team. Our number 4 spot is Tom Tupa of the Cleveland Browns. Tupa was an exceptional athlete. In his youth, he was a finalist for the punt, pass, and kick competition 3 times. In high school, he led his football team to a state championship at quarterback, and he then averaged 20.8 points per game for his basketball team, and then also was a pitcher and shortstop for his baseball team. Tupa gained the starting QB job at Ohio State his senior year and threw for 2,252 yards and 15 touchdowns. He also was selected as an All-American punter that same season. The first few seasons saw Tupa as either a backup or a full-time QB, but after that he primarily became a punter. Teams used Tupa's ability to throw on many fake punt plays and or trick plays. An interesting fact is that Tupa scored the NFL's first ever 2-point conversion, running in a faked extra point kick week 1 of the '94 season, earning him the nickname 2-Point Tupa. In '96, Tupa joined the Patriots and punted for them in their Super Bowl loss to Green Bay. And in '99, week 1 versus his former Patriots team, Tupa was the only possible QB on the roster after Testaverde tore his Achilles. Tupa came in at QB having not played QB for nearly a decade and put on a show, throwing for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns, nearly sparking a comeback win over the Patriots. In 2002, Tupa signed with the Bucs and was able to win a Super Bowl with the Bucs as their starting punter. Tupa will make for an excellent fake punt option with his ability to make almost any throw, and he makes for a great option to put in at quarterback. Can you change history and lead Tupa to a Super Bowl at quarterback? The number 3 spot on this list goes to Eric Metcalf of the Atlanta Falcons. Metcalf may have been regarded as the best athlete in the NFL, if not for our number one spot on this list. In 1988, Metcalf was named U.S. track and field champion at long jump and was also a two-time NCAA champion at Texas. Metcalf is considered one of the 5 best return men in NFL history. He led the NFL in kick return yards in his second season and also led the NFL in punt return touchdowns in 4 different seasons. He was utilized in many different ways, such as running back, wide receiver, kick returner, and punt returner. For his career, Metcalf finished with 2,392 rushing yards, 5,572 receiving yards, 3,453 punt return yards, and 5,813 kick return yards for a total of 17,230 all-purpose yards, which put him in the top 10 in league history at the time. He also scored 55 career touchdowns, 12 rushing touchdowns, 31 receiving touchdowns, 10 punt return touchdowns, and 2 kick return touchdowns. His 10 punt return touchdowns were the NFL record until Hester broke it years later. Enjoy using Metcalf at wide receiver or running back and also in the return game. At the number 2 spot, we have Cordell Stewart of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nicknamed Slash for his elite athleticism, Cordell Stewart was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers and was listed as the emergency 4th-string quarterback. However, Stewart was so special with his athleticism that the Steelers wanted to find a way for him to get on the field. He played wide receiver his first 2 seasons, earning 41 catches for 658 yards and 5 touchdowns. He was also used in certain packages at quarterback, where he primarily ran the ball, putting up an astonishing 39 carries for 171 yards and 5 touchdowns. The Steelers decided to give him a shot as the starting quarterback in the 1997 season, and Stewart led the Steelers to an 11-5 record, throwing for over 3,000 yards and 21 touchdowns, while also earning 476 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns on the ground. Stewart led the Steelers to the AFC Championship game, where they lost a close game to the eventual Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos, led by John Elway and Terrell Davis. Cordell Stewart would finish his career with 38 rushing touchdowns, which at the time was second in league history to only Steve Young. Stewart proved capable enough to be dangerous at both wide receiver and quarterback, and he will be an interesting option in wildcat formations, as his ability to throw the ball is better than any running back or receiver in the game. And if you choose, you can throw him in at quarterback and immediately have the most dangerous running quarterback in the game. Our number 1 spot goes to Deion Sanders of the Dallas Cowboys. Deion Sanders is the epitome of a utility player, as he played corner, wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, and even played Major League Baseball at the same time he played in the NFL. Never has there been a more versatile athlete in NFL history, and Deion ended his career with 53 interceptions, often regarded as the GOAT. He also returned 9 of those interceptions for touchdowns. He also forced 10 forced fumbles and returned 1 of those for a touchdown as well. He finished his career with 3 kick returns for touchdowns and 6 punt returns for touchdowns, and that was with him only being a full-time returner for half of his career. And he proved capable at wide receiver, where he also added 60 catches for 784 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dion was a threat to score literally every time the ball was in his hands. Sanders was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1994, the last cornerback to win the award, and he even got an interception in the Super Bowl victory over the Chargers to solidify his first championship. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys won him over in free agency by allowing him to play wide receiver as well as corner, so Dion headed to Dallas, where he put up solid numbers at wide receiver in 1996 with 36 catches for 475 yards and a touchdown. Jerry Jones also permitted Dion to return to his punt return duties from 97 to 99, where Dion would put up over 1,000 punt return yards and 4 touchdowns. If you choose the Cowboys in my 95 roster, he will be able to play wide receiver and corner in the same game. Imagine having Dion shut down the best wide receiver on your opponent's team, then turn around and catch a game-winning touchdown for Troy Aikman on the other side of the ball.